Hello everyone, welcome to ICI MWS 2024. This is Surojit Bhattacharjee presenting my topic Emotions in Marriage, the journey towards a secure connection. So for the next 15 minutes, we're going to listen to each and every point that I'm going to elaborate on emotional connections, expressions, what they mean to your relationship, to the marriage, and to the emotional well-being of the two persons connected. So let us start. We are going to cover the contents in brief points like why is emotional communication important at all? You may wonder. Then we're going to go to the techniques for expressing the emotions in your marriage, in your relationship. Understand what are the type of emotions, the key emotions you have to share to form a secure relationship, how to identify the negative emotion cycles, the cycles of communication, how you can normalize the acceptance of emotional experiences that we all feel, and how can we rebuild our interaction patterns, the negative ones, to the positive ones based on our new experiences, how we can navigate through the emotions to form a secure connection, how we know our emotional needs, and if in need, seek professional help, and what are the signs that finally you have achieved a secure connection, a secure attachment in your relationship. It's a very worthy quote to start with that suppressing the feelings only makes it harder to let them go. Expression is the opposite of depression. So let us start with know and deal with emotions. We are going to start from the basic, the importance of emotional communication itself. What are emotions, you may ask? Well, emotions are like the taste makers. They are like the seasoning. If the relationship is a stew, the emotions add flavor, depth, and sometimes a bit of kick. However, social norms, personal inhibitions, these things often create certain barriers to openly sharing and accepting emotions within the intimate relationships. Well, we are going to examine what the crucial role of normalizing emotional experience within these connections. We're going to explore how we foster a culture of emotional openness and how it can enhance communication, trust, and overall relationship satisfaction. By understanding the importance of emotional expression and implementation strategies, we can build actually a more fulfilling, harmonious, and secure relationship. That's what we want. Communication of emotions will play a pivotal role in the dynamic of any relationship. It serves as a cornerstone of deep connections and intimacy. It is important to understand how emotions shape our interactions itself, because this knowledge will actually help us navigate the twists and turns of love and connection, how we can share vulnerable thoughts, feelings, experiences with your partner, and how we can develop emotional intimacy through it. If we share our vulnerabilities, what actually happens, it's we normalize the acceptance of emotional experience within us, because all our emotional experiences tend to bring out who we are, how we feel actually deep down. So this habit can actually lead to a profound transformation in how you connect to your partner, because we are all vulnerable towards hurts, whether intentional or otherwise, from the special one, and we get hurt more if it is the special person. So the key to survive that hurt feeling, that insecurity, lies in dismantling the communication barriers. When we can cultivate empathy and build a safe space. So individuals who can successfully identify, accept, express emotions, only they can bring the quick improvement, dramatic improvement in the relationship in terms of satisfaction, intimacy, affection, all these things. So, what we can do, we can talk about our thoughts openly. We can bring depth, nuance, and at times a hint of excitement. What happens is that recognizing the value of emotional expression and by adapting methods to nurture this empathy, vulnerability, and healthy communication habits, we can actually pave the way for a more gratifying, harmonious, and secure relationship journey. You cannot overemphasize the significance of emotional communication. The articulation of emotion plays a fundamental role in shaping the dynamics of any relationship. So, understanding how emotion influence our interactions, we'll see now, and that allows us to navigate the ebbs and flows of love and companionship. So, when we share our innermost thoughts, feelings, experiences with our partner, it actually fosters the emotional closeness, while it engages in regular emotional check ins to address the concerns, desires, and that builds the foundation of security. So, now we're going to see, you might be wondering right now that what are the kinds of emotions, how we express them, which one to express, which one plays which role. So let's just go and categorizing the emotions, right? So if we categorize the emotions on a theoretical basis, it is basically the primary, secondary, and instrumental emotions. These are the three types of emotions that have been categorized. So, what are the primary emotions? Primary emotions, they are basically the unfiltered core responses of ours, of all individuals, to each situations. Say, for example, it can be anger when we are violated. We can experience sadness at, at loss, or we can experience shame by feeling unloved. What is interesting is we usually regret these emotions, or at least their expressions, at a later stage. Now, what are the secondary emotions? Secondary emotions are actually the defensive coping techniques that we employ to cover up the primary ones. See, it can be aloofness, so we become aloof to cover for fear, or we become depressed, hiding anger. We may not hide it very consciously, but our mind does it, whether consciously, whether subconsciously, we do hide it. And now, what are instrumental emotions? They are actually are some kind of manipulation, you can say. We employ these instrumental emotions to get what we are seeking. Say we are using crying to elicit some sympathy, or we are using shouting to instill some intimidation on the other person. So, key emotions to share for a secure relationship. First step towards securing an emotionally stable relationship is to be aware of those emotions. What we are expressing, what we are not expressing, what we are using as instrumental emotions. So these are the things that we have to be aware of first. If we are not aware, then we cannot process it and we cannot express them better. So the secret is to express the covered up emotion in the secondary emotions bracket that we've already talked about, right? So how can we do it? For example, you can tell your partner that you are experiencing fear, the primary emotion, the fear of losing her or losing him. What is the fear for? Maybe it can be the lack of regular talks that you had, the small talks, the touches, the solo times that you both of you have spent in those early golden days, right? So you should not act aloof just because you feel hurt sometimes. Uh, you do not hide or hold back your positive emotions either. So the emotions like gratitude, intimacy, empathy, forgiveness, you do not hide them as well, and you should express the fears, the angers, and all. So the primary emotions you bring forward, you become aware of them, you bring them forward. So then they become the driving force behind your communication. So by being honest and open about our feelings, what you can do is you can create a solid foundation for a fulfilling connection. So we are not insecure, we are not unsure about our emotional experiences, and the other person is not too. So this is essential to communicate openly to both positive and negative emotions, to build trust and intimacy in relationships. Emotions are basically a very powerful tool that either strengthens or weakens our relationship, depending on how we express and manage them. So, firstly, by acknowledging and addressing our emotions, we can navigate through any challenging situations and we can eventually build a very deep connection with our partner. So, what we do is we go through certain steps to build the secure emotional bond. First, we have to see through the negative, through the expressed emotion, that is the secondary emotions or the instrumental emotions even. So, explore how the problematic behaviors prop up, find the root, the emotions from which they're arising, your partner's behavior, which are maladaptive actually, which will then make sense to you. Then you'll realize that these are her or his efforts actually to communicate with you, to connect with you. So by identifying those hidden emotions, you can actually see that the person is trying to connect with you, basically. So let us say that your partner feels sad about being alone, and she or he thinks that showing anger is the way to attract your attention and to reestablish the connection. So what happens is you can slow down, you can track, and you can reflect as a couple, both of you, what the last argument was about. So re-enter that cycle of communication and openly acknowledge that each primary emotion that is hidden behind the approaching, withdrawing, connecting, running away, all those bizarre things that didn't make sense to you primarily. Now they will start to make sense to you right now. So, and then you will discover how those secondary emotions they maintain the negative communication cycle of emotions. And only when you see the cycle can you actually shatter the cycle, right? So spell it out, shed the guilt, the fear, the shame, accept that these emotions are normal for you and also your partner. Then you can rebuild the emotional interaction cycle of positivity. Okay. You have to respect all those emotions of yours and your partners. Now, when we seek professional help, yes, we can seek professional help. Once we have as partners normalized the the presence of all kind of emotions, we do not shame ourselves or the partner for the emotions that we possess, the primary emotions. Only then you can seek professional help. You have to both agree. Please do not deny that you may need help. See that needing help or wanting help will not make you weak. It doesn't mean that you are weak. On the contrary, it means that you care and you're strong. You have to be authentic to a professional. You cannot lie. You should not form one-to-one alliance with your professional against the partner because you are not actually fighting against each other. You're fighting the issue jointly. So that is the trick that we have to understand. Now that we have navigated through all these things, how do you know what are the signs that you actually have the secure attachment, secure connection that we are all seeking, right? There are 7 signs that we are going to quickly go through. There may be many, there may be, you can also squeeze it down to 3 and 4, but we have distinguished these connections so you can understand very easily. You communicate confidently. What do your connection with your partner? You can communicate very confidently. You are not shy in communicating what your emotions are. Your emotional needs, you can comfortably express. You can express that I actually felt angry due to this thing. I actually felt very afraid due to this behavior. So you can actually openly put them forward. No topic will be off limits. Every topic you can discuss because the primary feelings are emotions for human beings. So you are not shy or you are not afraid to put them forward. You learn to express it in a way that engages your partner and not to blame. I want to engage with you. I want you to know, not blaming you, but want you to know. You start seeking support from your partner and you do not combat. You do not fight your emotions. You do not fight your partners. You seek support due to these emotions. Right? You accept that all the emotional expressions from your partner mean something and they are validated. You may not agree with them, but they are valid. They are genuine and not framed. That he or she is not prosecuting you and you are not doing the same thing. And you employ these things, the last sign you can get is you break the negative interaction cycle very, very quickly. So now you know. Okay, now remember, in your relationship, vulnerability is like the glue that binds you together. Emotional expressions are like the sprinkles of seasoning that you have learned. Sharing emotion is the groundwork for your secure building of love. Now let us complete with this quote, which sums up everything. Express your emotional needs directly and often. Do not wait for the other person to figure it out on their own. Now, with these strategies, these knowledges, embark on your journey towards a secure connection. And thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.